Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. I really appreciate.
Welcome. So also one last thing, of which page we have, why I did this mistake, 186, 136 we have to start, correct? Yeah. So one more thing is there. So before we finish, ATS resume checker, you go see before you are applying for anywhere. So there are, so one of the thing that I personally see, jobscan.co. So scan your resume is there, and you can put your, so what happened is, I don't want to do scan my resume. So if you log in, then it will tell you what is the job that you want to see. See, it is resume covered. So if I log in example, then it will give me an option to put the company that I am putting, and it will also give me opportunity to whichever job is there, what is happening. So I can easily check out what is it. So you can put use fast, right? Whatever you want to take everything. I'm not Bill Gates. That's something I'm so much worried about, data privacy and everything. So okay, job tracker. So you can add the job. Okay, you can add the job and you can upload your CV. So it will show if it is matching or not. So it will say you 90%, 80% like that. So I will show you. I think I have some scan history in the past. I think so. I may have scan history. See, total resume scan. So if you will do, they will say you, okay, this is the CV and this is the job profile. So they will say you match 80%, 85%. See, one time I matched 39, 37%. Then I edited it and changed, it became 85%. Try to make it more than 95% and something. See, so they will suggest you which all words you need to put, which all things you need to put. So you put all those keywords, everything, and then you beat the ATS. This is beating the ATS. You will beat the ATS. Finally, inshallah, you will get a better job. Then you can drop me a WhatsApp, LinkedIn. I'll be happy that something became knowledgeable. You all got something of good from me. And when you pass your PMP, definitely you have to tell. So I can add the number of people who successfully passed. Okay. So we come back to our topic. Sorry for those whose time got wasted, because many people, they generally ask. So sometime I give this information. So we should start now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Okay. In case if somebody wants to ask something you didn't, you can watch this video. You will get all the information again, and you can note it down. If anyway somebody wants to ask what is the website you told or something, you can drop a WhatsApp to me. I can send you on WhatsApp also. Okay. So coming about the planning the project, what is planning the project means? So if you remember, we were talking about initiation, and then the second step is what? Planning. So what are the 5 stages? I said initiation, planning, execution, monitoring and control, and fifth is the closing the project. Please remember, we are doing for 85% of the time in this training, we are going to spend on the traditional method or the waterfall method, and the remaining 15% will come agile methodology. Now you will say that if the questions are also coming at the moment, still the questions are coming more from the traditional method, agile waterfall method, which you know, and still less questions are coming from the waterfall method. But in the future, they plan to make it 50-50, but still, even if you give after exam 3 months, the syllabus, the subject will be relevant, because these things build up your concepts. And once this concept of the traditional method is built up, then when you go with the agile, those things will be already the same, and with little changes will come. So that one we will see. So don't worry, the syllabus will get covered. Everything will be covered. Only one thing I would request, that whenever you are getting time, please read the presentation. Please read the Excel sheet. Please try to solve the Excel sheet, whichever you can, whichever we have completed. Try to do that. And if you can browse the book, 6th edition, 7th edition, please browse the book. Browse the book. I'm not saying read everything, because these are big books, but read, browse. Planning the project, planning process group. So it's a process group required to establish the scope of the project. See, if for example, you want to do any particular training, so you will plan, should I do online training? Should I do offline training? Should I do classroom training? Should I do daily basis training? Should I do on the weekend training? Correct? So this, what you are thinking, you are planning. Okay, if I am doing on Saturday, Sunday, then Sunday I have work. How can I manage that? So you will plan your schedule. You will plan, you will see, why should I do? So when you call IMC say, sir, you can do 5 courses at a time. We'll give you a very good discount. So you do PMP, you go do Six Sigma, and you do quality management, you do ABCD, you do Alpha, Beta, Gamma. You will get these all things in good price. So what you will say? Because see, any sales team, they would try to push 100 of ideas that you do this, you do that, because that's a business. But you will think, what is your objective of doing this course? What is your priority? There may be that, okay, you have to do 2-3 courses, but you will say, what is my priority? Which I should do first? See, money is not infinite. Time is not infinite with everybody. Money and time is not infinite. So you will do your selection based upon your preference, based upon your objectives, based upon your requirement, at which of these trainings I should take. So this is the same thing that happens. This is called planning the project. So you will plan. Then again, you will plan what? Should I do from IMC? Should I do from ABCD? Should I do from Kaka Gaga? So you will plan these things, correct? Which institution I should do. So that is also comes under planning. So what is planning? Whenever you are planning the thing, planning, the simple planning means whenever you are thinking what you should do, from where you should do, from where I should procure, what I should procure, what will be the timeline. So these all steps comes in planning. Planning process required to establish the scope of the project. See, first thing is like the scope of the project. What is the scope of the project? So the scope of the project, some institutions, they say we conduct training. And if you see on the web, on the Google, there are many, now you know these PMP, Six Sigma, they have become like mushroom. Everybody who doesn't even know the in-depth of PMP, or they don't even know the in-depth of Six Sigma, believe me, everybody is teaching. In India, in UAE, everybody is teaching. So what happened? You find people who are saying that, okay, you pay me only this amount of money, we will train you on this and this too. So now what is happening? So you ask them, okay, what all you will give? So they will say, we will train you and we'll give you. So you will give the training presentation. So the training presentation will be really of not so use. Maybe they will not give you the book. Maybe they will not give you the question bank. Maybe they will not give you the learning management system where you can apply solve the questions which are as of today, not like 10 years back. I have also links. If you see in the question, the word files that I have given, there are some links where you can practice, but those are still 6th edition. So you ask, are you teaching 6th edition, 7th edition? Because many institutions are still teaching 6th edition. And now we have 7th edition. So that is why you will plan what is the scope of the project, refine the objectives. See, in the beginning, the objectives can be anything. So, but then you will refine the objectives. No, don't want to do this. I want to do this. Define the course of action required to attain the objective that the project was undertaken to achieve. So if these things are planning. The first thing that comes in planning is project scope management. What is the word meaning of project scope management? From the word you can understand, you have to manage a project, and the scope of the project is what? You have in this project scope management, you have to make sure whatever is the scope of the project. So example, I want to give somebody to paint my home. So I say, see, you have to paint my home, and you have to paint with a plastic paint, and you have to paint this. So afterwards, when I have painted, the painting people are going. So my wife starts becoming angry on the painter. Hey, you did not paint the windows. You didn't paint the doors. So you'll say, madam, these all things are not in our scope. So that is why the scope needs to be very well clearly defined. What has to be done? What needs to be supplied? What will be the material used? So many good companies, if you see, they are very, very careful in writing the scope. So they say that when you are writing the scope, you have to be very, very careful what you want. Otherwise, what will happen? These all are legal things. Whenever you sign a contract, these are legal things. So they will say you, see, you didn't do this, so we didn't do this. You didn't mention the paint, so we are using any Chinese paint. If you have mentioned that you want, let us say, Nerolac paint, or what are the paint name, Asian paints, or you want Jotun paints. So you have to mention which paint you want, what grade paint you want, which color of the paint you want, what if the painter is not coming on time, in how many days it should finish, what are the scope of work it should do, what is the scope of work it should not do. So those all things should be mentioned there. So this is called the project scope management. What are the boundaries of the project? What are the things that you are looking in that scope project to be done? So these all things are in the project scope management. So project scope management includes the process required to ensure that the project includes all the work required and the work required to complete the project successfully. Managing the project scope is primarily concerned with defining and controlling what is included and what is not included in the project. So when you have to plan the scope management, first you have to collect the requirements. See, you cannot say, okay, you do this. Example, in a factory, in a company, if you are doing a project, you cannot just say, okay, do this. You have to collect the requirement. You have to go and talk to the people. What you want, what is the thing that you are looking, what is your suggestion? So you are collecting the requirement. Then based upon the requirement, you will define the scope. What is needed, what is not needed. Then you will create the WBS. What is WBS? Work breakdown structure. So what is a work breakdown structure? It will come again in the word. So generally speaking, what is a work breakdown structure? So see, you cannot ask somebody like, okay, make a house. So make a house is a vague term. So how can you quantify make a house? You cannot quantify the house, make the house. But what you can quantify, how many square meter of wall will be built, how many square meter of flooring will be done, how many square meter of painting will be done. And those all things become as a part of create work breakdown structure. After this scope has been created, the work breakdown structure has been created. You cannot just ask somebody to do. What you will do, you will get the scope validated from end user. Say example, you are a company in which you are dealing with, let us say, you are a company making, let us say, some juice. So there are people in the production, they want you to do something. So you say, okay, we will do that thing. So after you have created the work breakdown structure, you have defined the scope. What you do, you go back to the end users and you ask, can you check if everything is correct? Don't say after that you didn't include that, you didn't include this. So they will say, yes, it is fine. Then you will say, okay, can you sign this paper? You know, in real life also we do the same thing, correct? You cannot see. Afterwards, what happens in companies generally, there are a lot of blame games. So people say, no, I thought everybody knows this, that you should have done this. Everybody knows that you should have done this. So that is why, in order to avoid all this miscommunication, after you have defined the scope, after you have created the work breakdown structure, make sure that you get the scope validated from the whosoever are the requester or the end user. That you say, okay, please validate the scope. And then you make sure you control the scope. Control the scope means, say example, the person says to you that, okay, you are required to make sure that painting. So if the person comes and you say that, say you asked me to paint and no, you are not painting what we are looking for. You are painting, you said you will be painting plastic paint, but you are not painting plastic paint. You are just putting the normal distemper. So what happened? In that case, you can always control that, see, this is our scope. This is what you agreed and other thing. So I will just show one of the scope. That is what I was searching. So, sometimes the laptop takes time. So it will come anyway. What is there? See, this is Emirates Airline. Emirates Airline. So the flight company. So they have a food company called Emirates Flight Catering, and they are one of our customer. So the job that we got, scope of work. See, this is a real thing. Supply and installation of spiral conveyor. What they have written scope. Supply. So our company should supply and should install what? Spiral conveyor. Now the details will come here. Project brief. Supply and installation of stainless steel spiral conveyor at spiral freezer number 2 outside odd feet side. It is written in the company. We know that this location. High Care Assembly Area, Food Point, Dubai Investment Park, 1. The scope of work, supply and install, sorry. Supply, scope of work. See, this is what we are saying. Scope of work is clearly defined. Supply and installation of a stainless steel modular belt spiral conveyor at outfit side of spiral 2 by replacing existing S-shaped inclined modular belt conveyor. This, what are the other work? Dismantling the existing conveyor and accessories at the outfit side of a spiral phase 2. Supply and stainless of, so what, if these things are not clearly defined and our company gets this project, so we say, okay, we'll install this. You have, see, in your scope, what you have mentioned, supply and installation. So I will supply and install. But the old conveyors, it is not our duty to replace. So they say, no, wait a minute. See, we have written in our scope, dismantling the existing conveyor and accessories at the outfit side of the thing. That means you have to dismantle it, you have to remove it. Then only you can install your side. So this is why the scope of work becomes very, very important, why it is needed. So somebody will ask, okay, sir, I am from HR background. What is the scope of work of project related to me? It is very much related to everybody. You want to recruit a manager, let us say, who has worked in the Middle East, who has an engineering certification, a management degree, engineering degree, management degree, he knows English, he knows Arabic, he knows Hindi, he knows whatsoever. So you will put in the scope of work, or in the scope, what you will say, that is the job description. So you put, we are looking for somebody who has 10 years of experience in the Middle East region, must be heading a team of this much, must be coming from a company generating this much revenue, must be handling a team of this many people, must be an engineering graduate, must be willing to travel, must be knowing this, must be knowing that, must be a superhero. Whatsoever they want to put, they will put. And then they will say, see, this is our job description. And that is what you are committing. So that is why job descriptions and other things are there. So scope of work is a well documented. So modular belt should be of rubber top for avoiding sliding of vision. Conveyor leg should be with heavy duty stainless steel, techno clean leveling feet, spiral conveyor. So these things are written. Then the conveyor dimensions. What should be the conveyor dimensions? What are the requirements? Products should be transferred to the conveyor without effective frozen products system. So this, they have put some photos. This is what they want to replace with the spiral conveyor. So some simple example. So this is what type of thing. This is our product we have supplied. This is my company has supplied in the past. So I don't think where somewhere it will be written Unitech, I think. So I don't know where it is. So this is what we have supplied. So they want in another area this like that only. The contractor particular requirement. The contractor shall ensure that the following services are included in the scope. Method statement and risk assessment must be submitted for approval. All contractor must have a detailed site visit. All the things. So they have written all uploading and loading of material. Scaffolding is required. All associated civil and MEP work. Management supervision. Tool plants and equipment. Hygiene, health and safety. Fire risk management, induction course. See, what is induction course? So when we go into the company, so there may be technicians, maybe engineers who are not familiar what is the standard in that company. So they will say, see, when you are entering the company, you have to make sure that you are wearing boot. You cannot go into the food production area. You have to put your apron. You have to put a head mask, a face mask, head mask. So different thing. If you are using a beard, you have to put a beard mask. You have to make sure you wash your hand. You have to sanitize your hand. Make sure your boots are sanitized. So those things they will train in induction. So induction course they have to go. Accident reporting and recording, compliance with procedure, insurance, obligations, warranty, notes. So who is the correct person and other thing? So he is the engineering manager, Sunish from Kerala, India. So anything I can ask him, I can clarify from him. So this is the scope of work. So clear, sir, what is the scope of work? And yeah. So it can depend. See, and then when we as a company, when we are submitting our quotation to other company, so when we are submitting, so some companies, have you heard the word FIDIC? Anybody? FIDIC, FIDIC? FIDIC. So generally, you know, when you are dealing with international companies, so they are, see, in the contracts, the best one is that the contracts should be internationally valid. That means the contract should be in such a way that it should consider for everything. So what happens? So this is generally coming from FIDIC. So if anybody is interested, because that is a different topic, if you want to, I'm not asking you to take a training course or something. This is a simple thing. If you want, I can share you on personal front, because I cannot share in the PMP. Otherwise, the institution will get confused that what I'm trying to share and other thing. So if somebody wants to know, so the FIDIC law, what it says, I wanted to show you a FIDIC law contract. So it's a very well documented. So this is my previous company where I used to work. I don't know why this is not working.
That is usually used by quantity surveyor.
Yeah, yes, sir. So what happened that not only surveyor, sir, any company when you are dealing. So what happens of FIDIC is like what is in case you are providing bad quality of material. What if you are providing this? So what are the legal terms and conditions that applies to any contract? How the payment will be made? What if you are not making the payment? Where will you make the case? Where they will make the case? So all the things are mentioned clearly in the FIDIC contract. So Abdul Mahdi, the LOC. 1 minute. Just I will show you 1 minute. Document confirmation. This is confirmed. Contract agreement. Okay. So this is what I wanted to show you. Contract agreement. Document confirmation. Contract agreement. So anyway, when it opens, I will show you the FIDIC contract law. So in FIDIC contract law, everything is very well documented, very well defined, where you can make the case, where they can make the case. What if you are delaying? See, example, I gave a contract of printing company. They did half the work and then they run away. They are not coming. And after 1 month, they say, okay, give me the money. Then should I give the money? Should I not give the money? So those things are mentioned. They told to me that I will paint Jordan paint of plastic paint of Jordan company. Now they come with a Chung Chang Chung Chinese paint and they say, this is what we are painting. You take it or not, you have to pay the money. So what happened in that type of thing? I don't know, my goodness. Okay, so maybe I will share with you when it opens. So this is the, so in the scope management, as a company, we will also say that, see, we are responsible for this. But since we are a machinery company, we make machines, we do the installation, but the civil work, like regarding the excavation of the area or these things, see, this is the thing. So this is my previous company, very big company, Al-Wataniya Poultry, agreement of supplying, installation, supervision. So those who are from those who do not know Saudi Arabia and those who do not know the poultry. So before I joined this company, I was working in big companies like Tata Motors, John Deere. And so people said to me, "Hey, you are from these big companies, you are going to a poultry company." So if just to let you know, this particular company where I worked, it is spread in Saudi Arabia in a place called Buraida Al Qasim in 220 square kilometer. 220 square kilometer. So it's like a big city in itself, the company, a big city in itself. So you go on driving for hours, you will be still in the campus of Al-Wataniya Poultry. They have their own electricity, they have their own water. On every single day, 1 million chickens are cut, slaughtered. So for having those 1 million chickens production per day, you need to have so many farms, so many feed mill, and so many different things. Workers, accommodation, family, this all. It's a very big factory, very big area, 220 square kilometer. So it's a huge, it's like a big city in itself. So this particular company, so agreement, so from here only I resigned to join another company and then some bad thing happened. So agreement of supply, installation, supervision and commissioning of washing machines for plastic crates and pallets. So when we say washing machine, so you know the moment we say washing machine, general people think, washing clothes. No, this is not washing clothes. This is washing crates, trays, pallets in the food factory. And these are very costly machines. It is in very $300,000 is generally the cost. $25,000, $200,000. This is the generally cost. So if you see, it's written in the FIDIC system, first party. The first party is Al-Wataniya, second party. So the second party is this. my company, and this is my boss, and this is my email ID, official email ID. So, and I put his only details because I don't want that if anything happened to be caught. So let the boss be there. So the boss is there. Both parties here to declare that they're legally competent to enter. What is the preamble? Because in the FIDIC, these are all written. Alvatania Poultry desirous of supply installation 3000 crates per hour and 2 washing machines for plastic crate with each capacity of 3000 crates per hour. So they want 2 machines which can wash 3000 crates per hour and 1 washing machine for plastic pallet with a capacity of 100 pallets per hour for Alvatania PP3. And this is this and this is this. So this is the quotation number. This is this. So this is the Unitech scope of work. Please see. Supply 2 pieces, plastic crates, power supply should be this, stainless steel, IP67, supply 1. So these things are written. These are the scope that Unitech is saying. AutoCAD layout they will give, position and size they will give, connections, supervision, installation, testing and commissioning, training for the people. Supplier must officially assign a project manager. Is crucial from the seller. Now we are saying, see, we can do everything, but these are not the thing that we will do. Installation, we will do only supervision. Don't think that we will do the installation. We don't have so many people. We will send one engineer from our UK head office to do the supervision of installation. Your team has to do the installation. See, we don't have, your company is a very big company. The nearest city is 100 kilometers away. So we can't like take hotel and everything. You have to arrange the accommodation, hotel, whatsoever for us. Any civil work we will not do, you have to do. Forklift truck, anything you want to offload the things, you have to give. Connection, like you, there is a water line that we need, electricity line that we need, you all have to do. Duct work you have to do, steam trap you have to do. See, if we need visa, you have to give visa and everything. But for British people, you don't need any visa. You can get online. And also for those people who are in the Middle East, they have to go to Saudi or any Middle East country. You don't need like a long system. You can just apply and you get in 1 minute. Online visa. Price. So this is the total contract price. I should not show you, but this is the price, 302,000 pounds, British pounds of this machine. Project duration. Total processing time, this one. Machine manufacturing time, 16 to 18 weeks. Shipping time to is 4 weeks. Installation supervision, 2 weeks. Commissioning and training, 3 days. Delivery terms. We are not going to deliver in your factory. We are delivering only to Jeddah Seaport, KSA. There will be delay penalty clause applicable against seller if such. So they are saying, if my company is delaying, then they will put a fine. How much? 0.5% of the total contract value per week for the first 4 weeks. 1% of the total contract value per week for after 4 weeks. But then they put total penalties around 10%. Then our company said, no, don't put 10%. We don't have so much margin, so put 3%. Then this is an art of negotiation. Both the part companies discussed, agreed, and they agreed. If the delay exists for an unreasonable period of time, the seller and the buyer should have a joint meeting to remedy, and these all the things are written. Then payment terms. How the payment will be paid? 20% against LC, 60% against this, 10% against this, 10% after that. Okay, where you will pay? Seller's bank detail is this in England. Pre-delivery inspection. We say if you are buying a 300,000 British pounds machine, it's a costly machine. If you want, you can come in our UK factory, check the machines. You will give this technical document, warranty, and after sales. They say that if any problem happen, make sure within 2 days you send your people, local support. Liability. This is the liability. Software and hardware. Force measure. For the project can, in unnatural circumstances or failure, what can happen? Sorry. So, assignment of rights, applicable laws, termination for default, counterparts. Then it will be signed and stamped. Then it becomes a legal agreement. So, if you see, the scope of work is very well defined. Plan scope management, collect requirement from the different people, define the scope, create work program structure, validate the scope, and the company, we will install these machines. Example, we said the machine will be washing 3000 trays per hour. Suppose the machine is able to wash only 2500 trays per hour. It is underperforming as per the scope. So they have the full right to cut money as per the discussion, or they can also reject that we don't want your machine. You have to take it back. So is it clear? The practical side I was teaching about scope management. So this is, yeah.
Sir, to define a scope, is there a special person who defines the scope, thinking about all the scenarios?
No, brother, end users. Whoever are the, see, example, if I have to get my home painted, so who is the best person to define? The security? No. My family? They will say, see, we want our paint. So my daughter says, Daddy, can you get this room painted pink color? Because I like pink, example. So my family, so we are the end users. Whoever are the end users, they are the best people to define the scope. It is simple. I go on Amazon.com or not Flipkart.com or any this thing. So there are hundreds of products available. So you will see, okay, what is the, so you see a mobile. This mobile is saying that is 64 megapixel. Oh, this is there. Oh, this is the price. So instead of project scope, you are defining the product scope. Sometimes, you know, when you are going in Amazon and other thing, there are like filters. So what you are doing in filters? I want something which can be delivered in 2 days. I want something that has this megapixel camera. My price should be this. You are defining product scope. So the same way you define the project scope. What you want. You are the end users are the right people. So that is why it's always, if you see collect requirement, you ask the people. So there is something people ask, how you collect requirements. See, this is the thing. In theory, we will go fast because once you understand, collect the requirement. If I have to collect the requirement in a factory, what needs to be built? What are the things? Go and have meetings, ask questionnaire from people, do some brainstorming, correct? How you collect requirements. So this is all the thing that will come in theory. So it's clear, sir?
Yes.
Thank God our population in the class is increasing. Now we have 21 people. So 20 people. So thank you for those who are joining. And those who have missed, there were some important discussions that we did today. Very useful for your career and very useful for your personal growth, career growth. So please do there. I have already explained before for edx.org, correct? That how you can build up your profile, how you can build up your soft skills and all those things. So do that, edx.org as well. So we come to project scope management. Project scope management consists of 6 processes. What are the 6 processes? See, whatever we have done here, those things are written in theory now. Plan scope management, collect requirement, define. See, don't remember it as a theory. So because they are not asking you what are the steps and other thing. You just think logically. Close your eyes, think logically. And if you don't understand any project, think, I have to get my home painted. I have to get my home built. What you will do? So you will see example, if I have to do my home painted, so I will say, should I get it painted now? Or should I get it painted afterwards? Should I get it painted in summer? Should I get it painted now? Okay. So I'm thinking of getting, so I asked my wife, what do you think I should collect requirements? I'm asking my wife. So then my daughter says, Daddy, why don't you paint pink color? Then my wife says, okay. And don't forget to paint the cupboards and all those things. Ask also them to paint with what it is called, varnish or something for the doors and everything. And make sure that this. So we are writing all this collecting requirement. Then I will go and talk to the painter or the painting company. See, I want to be painted. So you say, okay, sir, what do you want to be painted? See, I want to be painted my flat. It should be this, it should be that. Sir, do you want also to paint the grills and other thing? No. Grills and other thing are good in condition. I don't want it to be painted. But please paint the doors and everything. Okay, sir. So what else? So I will define. Can you see? Because every day I'm busy. Can you do it on Saturday and Sunday, weekends? So I'm defining the scope. Then they'll say, okay, then create work breakdown structure. So I will ask them, okay, how you are charging? So they are charging, sir, our rate is, example, 20 dirham per square meter for the walls, and for the doors, which are, sir, 15 dirham per square meter. So this is something which I can measure, create work breakdown structure. Then validate the scope. So I will, before I say okay to him, I will again ask my wife, see, I have only told them to paint the walls and doors. Anything else you want, or should I confirm? So my wife says, example C, can you also ask them to the kitchen drawers to paint? Can you check with them to also paint the kitchen? How much it will take? They should paint it for free. You know, many ladies, they are very good in negotiation and bargaining. So my wife says, example, ask them to paint it for free. So I will say, brother, can you paint? He said, no, sir, we cannot paint for free. You have to pay some money for that. Okay, then I agreed. Then again, maybe I check with my wife. See, they are saying this much amount of money. You are okay? We are okay. So everybody says, okay, okay. Then this is validated scope. Once we have agreed, they start painting. Then we say, see, you told us that you will do 2 layers of painting. You are just doing 1 layer of paint. Why you are not doing 2 layers of paint? What I'm trying to do, controlling the scope. You said you will paint with Jotun company paint. You are using this brand. I don't even know that. He will say, sir, this is a very good high quality brand, better than Jotun. Jotun is just name only. I will say, no. We agreed in our terms and conditions that you will use Jotun paint. You can't use any other paint. I will not pay you. So I am controlling scopes. Clear? So these things we study in theory, but I'm saying if you will study, you have to read the theory. I'm not saying think practically. Anything you can think, painting or building your home, software, whatever you want to do. So you think practically and you don't need to memorize it. This is what I'm telling you. You will practically understand. Don't think it like from the learning point of view. Think, okay, in practical life, what you do, how you do. So this is an easy way of remembering the thing. And they are not going to ask you, okay, what is step after this? So they can ask question like that in project scope management, which is which is not relevant. So they will put these points. And one of the thing they will ask is to check, to ask for example, the closing report or something, or they can ask you who is the project manager or something useless they put here. So you can say, no, in scope management, these things we need. We don't need that thing at the moment. So you can easily say that this is not a part of a scope management. So this is what I'm saying. Think practically. The answers will be easier to you to answer. Clear? Now we will study the theory fast. We have understood the thing. Plan scope management, the process of creating a scope management plan that documents how the project and the product scope will be defined, validated and controlled. Collect requirement, the process of determining, documenting and managing stakeholder needs and requirement to meet project objectives. Define scope, the process of developing a detailed description of the project and product. Create WBS, the process of subdividing project deliverables and project work into smaller, more manageable components. Validate scope, the process of formalizing acceptance of the completed project deliverables. Control scope, the process of monitoring the status of the project and product scope and managing changes to the scope baseline. This is control scope. So these things are again defined here. What is the product scope? What is the difference between product scope and project scope? I explained you. So example, I was buying online a mobile phone. So I said it should be 64 megapixel, 1 year guarantee, this, that feature. So those are product scope. And when we are saying what to be done and what not to be done in the project, that becomes a project scope. See, theory you can read yourself. Plan scope management is the process of creating a scope management plan that documents how the project and product scope will be defined, validated and controlled. The key benefit of this process is provide guidance and direction on how scope will be managed throughout the project. So we say that, okay, you will be using this quality of paint. So it is giving a guidance for us to make sure that the same quality of paint. So example, they say this project will be finished in 10 days. So this is what we are planning. So we can see 8 days have finished. You have not even completed 50% of the job. So the project is delayed. So those things are written. So a written, documented information will make you as a guideline as what is going right and what is going wrong. So as we said, all the thing we have to study in the 3 parts. What is the input? What is the tool and technique? What is the output? This I have not prepared. I have just copied from the PM book of knowledge. So even if you read, you will find the same slide, the same page, that the graphic has been directly copied from there. So what happens? Input, tools and technique. Just think logically. For you to plan the scope, what are the things? So you will need a project charter. If you are planning in the companies, factories, you have to have a project charter. What is the actual initially you thought the factory is all about? What are the things it will cover? Project management plan, quality management plan, Project life cycle description. What is project life cycle? In how much time it will finish, another thing. Development approach, how they will do this project. Enterprise environment factor, as I said, and organizational process asset. These are two common things which you can ignore, and it is always as an input. As I said, what is enterprise environment factor? How you have influence in your company, or some other factors can have influence in the company, which can be positive or negative for the company. Now, example, when I was working in Saudi Arabia, I had a very good contact, very good support from my vice president. So whichever projects I was doing, I was getting a lot of help from him. He was a very nice Saudi man, very good, very great. He would always, whatever I would say, sir, I need this. Okay. He would arrange very fast. Some people in the company, they were struggling with their projects because they are waiting for tools. They are waiting for approvals. They are waiting for this. Their boss is not like so much active. So these are enterprise environment factor. Now you are in COVID time, there were many projects which got cancelled. So our company made agreement even in UAE, in Qatar, in Saudi Arabia. And then we are following up that, sir, we are waiting for the advance payment to start the project. They said, please wait. Our management will take. Then after a few months of case, they say, sorry, this project has been cancelled. Even though we have signed the project and everything because of COVID. Now, everything is stopped. Can you do something? Can I go and fight? I cannot. There are things that, okay, we can say that we have spent this much money. We can go to the court and everything. But that will destroy the business and that will destroy our name. So that we don't want to do. We want to come on a normal term. So that is something. The project has got delayed, project has got affected. We cannot do anything. Enterprise environment factor. Organizational process assets. So example, in my company, if I have to spend money more than 2,000 dirham for anything, I have to take permission from my managing director. So I have to send him email or that, sir, I have to pay for the furniture in the Saudi. Tomorrow I am going to Saudi Arabia. So those of you who are in Riyadh, if you want, you can please meet me in the Riyadh International Convention from 4 p.m. till 10 p.m. For the next 3 days, we are there participating in a Middle East poultry exhibition. So if somebody is from Saudi and Riyadh, you are welcome to meet me. My number, mobile, WhatsApp will be active. So example, I tell them that, sir, we have to pay for the furnitures there in our store. So what is the cost? So, sir, they are asking 3,000 dirham example. So I have to take an approval. So this is an organizational process assets. So I have to wait till I get the approval to do that. So this is a procedure of the company. If I have to go for vacation, 1 month vacation for my home, I have to apply. My company says you have to apply 3 months in advance. So like I have to go for vacation. I have to go to India in June end. So I have said informed my company in March that I am planning to go for my vacation in end of June, probably this date. So that is a procedure. So those are organizational process. So these two things will always come and input will be there for everything. What are the tools and techniques? How will you plan the scope? By expert judgment. What is expert judgment? So example, in a company, they say that you have to build this, you have to build that. So you have to take the help of experts. You have to ask the experts, whoever is that. What do you suggest we should do? What do you suggest we should not do? Or you may be an expert yourself, or maybe sometime you hire consultant to take advice. So that is expert judgment. Data analysis. What is data analysis? Data analysis, like you can see, okay, so there is a machine that is always failing and that project needs. So you can say that data analysis, see, in last 1 year, this machine has stopped for more than 50 hours and our production has got lost because of this. So, and we have lost this much amount of money. So what you are doing? You are doing data analysis. Alternative analysis. What we can do. So example, if I have to get, and this is a real thing, in my home, I have to get my bathtub replaced. So there are two things I can do. I can go for the ceramic bathtub, which is a costly one, or I can ask for the acrylic bathtub or the normal plastic bathtub, which is a cheaper one. So I have to think alternative analysis. Is there any other thing by which I can do, by which I can manage? Meeting. I have to meet the people to discuss what you need, what you don't need, and other thing. Now the meeting can be a virtual meeting. It can be a real meeting. So this is the meeting. Output. When you have done all these tools and techniques, so what will be the outcome? You will get a scope management plan, how you will manage the scope, and the requirement management plan. What is the requirement and everything. So these are the things. Project charter, we know, project management plan, enterprise, and everything, another thing. Now come expert management, data analysis and alternative analysis. So what is alternative analysis? Various ways of collecting requirement, elaborating the project and product scope, creating the product, validating the scope, and controlling the scope are evaluated. Meeting, expert judgment, internal and external customer, alternative analysis, data analysis method, meeting, team member involved in creating the scope management plan, they go and meet people. So the scope management plan, the output comes. The scope management plan is a component of the project management plan that describes how the scope will be defined, how it will be developed, how it will be monitored, how it will be controlled, and how it will be validated. So process for preparing a project scope management statement, process that enables the creation of the work breakdown structures, scope baseline. What is a scope baseline, product baseline, time baseline? So what is there? So example, in the beginning, we say this project is going to take, example, in our training, we say this training is going to take 35 hours. So this is the time baseline of the scope. Can it change? Yes. So example, what happened? Suppose we are not able to complete in 35 hours. So I can request you all people at no extra cost to you all people that see, because I don't want to like rush and say, okay, finish. Even you understand, you don't understand, I have to finish it. No, not like that. So example, what happened? Sometime I have to say, see, I have to take 2 hours extra or 3 hours extra. Can you stay a bit more so that I can finish it? So the scope baseline can change, but initially the scope baseline is there, that 35 hours. Process that establishes how the scope baseline will be approved or maintained. So they will say that, okay, if I have to extend, I have to take the approval from the people, that is you all people, the end users. I have to take also the, or IMC institute, they don't have any problem. If the trainer is training for free, what is the problem for them? They are more than happy. So I don't have to, but I have to inform them that, see, I could not complete it in 35 hours. I want to take 2 hours extra or 3 hours extra so that I finish it, the course. So I have to inform them, but I have to take you all people approval. See that we promise in 35 hours, but anyhow, because I taught some other things, so I think I have to take 1 hour more, 3 hours more. Can we stay half of hour more in 5 days so that we are able to complete? So you all say okay, or you don't say okay. So that is the process that specifies how formal acceptance of the completed project deliverable will be obtained. So example, how you say, so you have to get it sure. In companies, you cannot say that, okay, if somebody speak to me, then it is fine. So in companies, you have to say that, see, we will make sure that the scope is validated, accepted once the end user sign or the department manager sign. So what you are doing, you are making a acceptance, how the acceptance of the project will be there. So one of the scope management plan is here. You can see project title 122 East Main Street, date, scope statement, development, WBS structure, dictionary, scope. What is WBS dictionary? Each element in the, see example, when you say paint, so you can see when we are saying seller or we are saying buyer, if you remember this particular thing. So when we say in this particular page, the first page, so we are saying first party, second party. So we are defining now. First party means Alwatania poultry. This is the address in Saudi Arabia and everything. And when we say second party, so this is the second party, Unitech washing system at Unitech House, West Corpus Road, Brown Hills, Staffordshire, UK. So this is the second party. So what you are saying, you are defining, what you are defining? You are defining the dictionary. So this is called defined dictionary or WBS dictionary. The scope baseline maintenance, scope change, deliverable acceptance, scope and requirement. So this type of thing comes scope management plan. The outcome can also be requirement management plan. You can understand the requirement well after you have understood the scope. The requirement management plan is a component of the project management plan that describes how project and product requirement will be analyzed, documented, and managed. Component of the requirement management plan can include how requirement activities will be planned, tracked, and reported. Configuration management activities such as how changes will be initiated, how impact will be analyzed, how they will be traced. So example, what happened, how changes will be initiated. So example, all of you are doing a particular project, let us say painting, and some changes come. So example, after the painting is there, so the wife says, example, see, I'm not liking the paint that you have done. Can you paint another paint? How can we paint another paint? Who will give extra money? So how the changes will be initiated. So that is why you have to mention it. Product requirement prioritization process. So there can be 10, 12 different requirements. Which is more important? So the serial or priority will be decided. Product metrics that will be used and the rationale for using them. Which all product metrics. So you will say the product that we will select should be highly durable, should be trusted brand, should be trusted quality, should be in the approval list, and other thing. Traceability structure that reflect the requirement that will be captured on the traceability matrix. So how you can trace, how you can identify and locate how much work has been done, how much work has not been done, like that. Collect requirement. How you collect the requirement? Collect requirement is the process of determining, documenting, and managing stakeholders' need and requirement to meet objectives. The key benefit of this process provides the basis for defining the product scope and project scope. In collecting the requirement, the input can be project charter, project management plan, project documents, business document, agreements, enterprise environment factors, organization. Do you need to remember all these things? You don't need to remember it. If you read a couple of times, you will understand that. Just think practically. You wanted to paint. You wanted to make your house. Collect requirement. You will ask your people. You will ask different people. You will talk to people. You will see a business document, business case. How much money I have. See, you can want to make a house made up of pure marble, but you have to check the business document. How much money you have. What is your budget? How much money you want to spend? Okay. What are the stakeholders saying? What is you saying? What is your brother saying? What is your wife saying? What is the father saying? So those are the stakeholders in the building. So you have to ask the stakeholder register and all those things. Tool and technique, expert judgment, data gathering. You will get the data from various sources like brainstorming, interviews, focus group, questionnaire and surveys, benchmarking, like that. So what is brainstorming? You know that when few people sit, they discuss on a particular topic, that's called brainstorming. Then comes interviews. Interview, when you meet people, you talk to them. Then comes focus group. What is the focus group? So focus group is example, there is a project that is related to IT. See, I'm not from IT and that project is related to IT. So the people from the IT, they can sit together and they can discuss about that project. So that is a focus group. There is a project on finance. I know finance, but there are people who may not be knowing finance. So what you have to do? So those people from the finance should sit and talk and discuss. So that's a focus group. Questionnaire and survey. So example, a company is planning for a project. So they ask the employees what you are looking for. So ask the questionnaire, which area you want the car parking, where you want the canteen, what are the suggestions for the canteen. So the company sends an email, questionnaire and survey. Benchmarking. What is benchmarking? These all things will come again in theory. What is a benchmarking? So example,
setting standard.
Yeah, setting a standard. So example, you see the in class when we were like a small child, and especially coming from normal middle class Indian family. So what used to happen? The parents always used to do benchmarking. You got 80. See, his daughter got 99. What is this they are doing? They are benchmarking that girl's performance to my performance, or my performance to that girl's performance. So this is benchmarking. In companies, what can happen? So example, when Amazon, and there is another delivery service here called Noon. So example, say Amazon delivers in next day. So when Noon says, okay, we want to launch a service where we can deliver in 1 hour, 1 hour delivery. Okay, 15-minute delivery. These things are happening here in the Middle East region. For those who are back in India, so these things are coming here. Like you can order something, 1 hour delivery, 15-minute delivery. So 15-minute delivery is there in noon.com for many things. There are some fashion industries thing, like I think some companies, I don't remember the name, they are saying in 2 hours they deliver you. So that is the thing. So benchmarking. So you check your performance to what you aspire for or what you're looking for. So that is benchmarking. So you compare your performance to others. That is a benchmarking. Data analysis. You compare your data analysis, document analysis, decision making. What is decision making? So if there is in a company you have to do a project, there are 20 people, 30 people. So the decision is made through voting, okay, or through multi-criteria decision analysis. What is the multi-criteria decision analysis? See, we are going to select this project if they have done a particular type of project. So example, what happens in India, they were making an auction to manage the airports of India. So what was the first criteria they put? Any company who is going to manage the project, they must have prior experience of 5 years at least to manage the projects. So this is one criteria. Second criteria could be the company should have a revenue of this. They should have this of this. So these are the criteria. They should make sure that they should, these are the things that they should promise. So these are criteria decision. For example, if you want to order something from Amazon, so some people are saying that, okay, we will deliver without shipping charges. Some place you are written shipping charges 50 AED extra. So you will see what is the criteria. You say, no, I don't want to select with shipping charges. I want shipping charges to be free. I want it to be delivered in 1 day. So this is a multi-criteria decision analysis. You are making the decision based upon multiple conditions. Data representation, affinity diagram, mind mapping, it will come here now. Interpersonal and team skills, nominal group technique, observation, conservation, facilitation, we'll see again here. Context diagram, prototypes. Output will be the requirement documentation, requirement traceability matrix. So I think it's a time for us to take a small break and we wash our face, we don't feel asleep. And please come back because generally happen. Now we have 20 participants, including me. So 19 people are there. Please, I hope all 19 come back. So we take 10-minute break or 15-minute break. Please let me know.
I think 15 minutes reasonable.
Yeah, so we take a 15 minutes break, sir. And once it is done, please let me know. So we'll start. Please come back. Thank you. Documents, business document, agreements, expert judgment, data gathering. So first of the thing is brainstorming. You know brainstorming, where you meet and sit and discuss people. Interviews, you talk to person each and you ask what is their views. Interviews comes from the word interviews. So you take their ideas, you take the information, what you're looking for, what you're not looking for, and so on. Then comes focus group. As I said, if it is a project of, let us say, financial project, you are working on a project of finance, so maybe you will be involving the people or the team from finance department. And so what happens, you are using subject matter expert or pre-qualified stakeholders, means those who are like eligible to take part in those decisions and those groups. A trained moderator guides the group through interactive discussion. What is a trained moderator? See, what happens in a group discussion generally. In a group discussion, generally what happens when you are discussing in a group, so you must have seen some people, they do not, So in some groups, when you are having group discussion, some people, they keep on speaking. They don't allow people to speak. So example, there are 10 people. So you will see 4 or 5 people keep on speaking, and other people who are quiet, they are not able to speak. So what happened in that type of condition? Everybody is not getting a chance. So a trained moderator is somebody who makes sure that everybody speaks in the group. So what he says, he sets the guideline of the group. He says, see, this is not a one-to-one discussion. This is a group discussion. So please make sure that everybody speaks. Everybody will be given first time 1 minute to speak. Then second time everybody can speak like this. And those who are making like noises, or those who are not letting other people chance. So in a company, you can't say, okay, you be quiet. So you have to tell, thank you, Mr. So-and-so, for giving an idea. No, let's speak to our next participant. Or you make a system that, okay, it will be given 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Number 1 will speak, number 2 will speak, number 3. So everybody gets a chance. Also, sometimes what happens in group discussion in companies, what happens? The topic shifts away to another thing. It can shift to another work, another problem, and the training or the discussion that was for some particular thing, it moves from one particular thing to another different topic. So that is why it's very, very important that there is a trained moderator who guides the group through an interactive discussion designed to be more conversational than rather than one-on-one interview. Sometimes what happens, you will see in some meetings, you will see two people are only talking among themselves. They hardly care about what everybody is saying. So a trained moderator must be making sure that everybody speaks, everybody's voice is heard. The discussion is focused only to the topic that we are discussing and not about some other problem. Hey, yesterday in production, this problem happened. Hey, yesterday in maintenance, this problem happened. No need to discuss those things. Questionnaire and surveys. You must have gone to some malls. Sometimes people will ask you, sir, which is your favorite toothpaste? After if you don't find this toothpaste, which is the thing? Or sometimes if you fill some papers, then also the questionnaires and surveys come. So those type of things are there, set of questions designed to quickly accumulate information from a large number of respondents. Most appropriate with varied audience when a quick turnaround is needed, when respondents are geographically dispersed. Benchmarking involves comparing actual or planned product, process, and practice to those of the comparable organizations. The organization comparable during benchmarking can be internal or external. So what does benchmarking? It is saying benchmarking can be internal or external. So what is external? So you compare, see what easy thing. So when you were a child, so your parents would compare your performance and they will say, look at Mr. Sharma's daughter. She got 95, you only got 80. So this is an external benchmarking. Now they can also do an internal benchmarking. Look at your performance. Look at your sister performance. You scored 80. Your sister scored 100. So this is internal benchmarking. In the companies, what happened? So there are different departments. So you can compare, maintenance can compare with production, production can compare with finance, finance can compare with projects, projects can compare with IT. So those are all our internal benchmarking. And what is external? When you compare with organization which is away. So this is the difference between internal benchmarking and external benchmarking. Data analysis consisting of reviewing and assessing any relevant document information. So document analysis happens. What is needed, what is not needed, what is the guarantee terms, what is the warranty term, those all things. Then comes decision making. So in generally when companies are making, so some people will say, I want this, some people will say, I want that requirement, I have this requirement. So there cannot be like 100 of things can be done. So people will then, in case of then there are people are complaining, shorting. So decision making is done generally through voting. So the collective decision making technique, which can use to generate, classify, and prioritize product requirement. Example includes unanimity. What is unanimity? Decision, everybody reach to a common consensus that, okay, this person, this work will be done. Everybody agrees. Yes, this is important. This is needed. So that is called unanimity. Or if you are following elections and politics, you will see in some places that nobody is contesting. Only one person is contesting for the position. So without any contest, that person is declared a winner. So they say by unanimous choice, he is already declared a winner. So no election. So unanimity, decision that is whereby everyone agrees on a single course of action. What is majority? Decision that is raised with support obtained from more than 50% of the members of the group. So if there are like 10 people in the group, 6 people are saying, yes, we need to do this. So that is the majority of the people they want. So that particular project, that particular requirement is considered plurality. What is plurality? Decision that is reached whereby the largest block in a group decides, even if a majority is not achieved. See, this is something which is very, very unique in difference between majority decision and plurality decision. So see, majority of the decision, they may be wanting something, but what is plurality? Somebody is very, very powerful in the company. The CEO says, now nobody can say anything. The CEO says, okay, this year we are not going to have any salary increase. Majority of the people want the salary to be increased, but the CEO, the powerful block CEO, finance director, these all people are saying no salary increase, not good, this, that. Nothing can happen. So that is a plurality decision, where the decision is not made based upon the majority of people decision, but based upon the power that is there. The largest group decides even if the majority is not achieved. Then come autocratic decision. What is autocratic decision making? One individual takes responsibility for making the decision for the group. It happens generally with senior management position. So even if the group wants something, they say, no, I have a gut feeling we will do like this, the CEO or something. So autocratic decision making, one individual take responsibility for making the decision for the group. Multi-criteria decision analysis. What is the multi-criteria decision analysis? Using a decision matrix on the basis of established criteria such as risk level, uncertainty, valuation, to evaluate and rank many ideas. See this will come also when we are doing quotations and everything. So I will also show you one more thing. If you go in extra, and if you go in more extra, so this is very, very old, 10-year-old, 12-year-old thing. So I'm not saying that this is a perfect one. So there is a technical evaluation that I have done for a project called Belt Conveyors project. It was not a small belt conveyor, it was a big belt conveyor project. It is there in the folder that I've shared with you. You can see this is based upon multi-criteria decision analysis. This is based upon what? Multi-criteria decision analysis. So what are the things that is there? So this is in Anvo Salos project, technical evaluation of overhead, this thing. And okay, so Alvatania requirements. What is the thing? These are the companies who are contesting. Neuro Germany, Guttridge United Kingdom, Jiangsu Moyang Group China, Shenek Process UK Limited UK. So these are the companies. What is the scope of work? See how I have planned the multi-criteria decision. The scope of supply, reference, drawing, belt sample. See, these are the criteria. Did they give belt sample? Yes or no? What is the condition? Belt technical data sheet they gave or not? What is the capacity they are promising? What is the grain density? What is the ambient temperature? What is the air humidity they are promising? What are they considering wind speed maximum 130 km/h? Noise requirement, total weight, power supply, total conveyor of length of belt, mobile conveyor. Now you see, design of movable conveyor, slewable and fixed conveyor. So this is portable, this is this design, this is fixed, this is movable, another thing. Belt width, 1200, 1350, 1400. Belt speed, belt details. What is the specification of the belt? Mobile belt conveyors. So you see, there are hundreds of criteria: aspiration filters, belt conveyors, belt speed, drive motor speed, angle of slope, conveyor, belt conveyor, drive motor, conveyor length, belt width, conveyor accessories, capacity. Now many things, bucket elevators, weighing system. If the weighing system is there or not, aspiration system, electrical system, painting, what painting they are doing, fixed conveyor belt, many criteria, this value, that value, price. So this is the price, 3 million. Belt conveyor for soya, 2.7 million. So total price is this. Then after this I've done also a technical point. So I say, okay, I made it simple. So those were very complex. This is for this. Overhead conveyor project is Anvo Silo. Points. So I said we'll give for design 70 points. 3 for capacity, 4 for angle inclination, 1 for belt speed, portable conveyor this, for example, bucket elevator like this. So, and finally, based upon everything, we give the score. That percentage score, 100, 73, 52%, 20, 20. So then we come commercial terms. So this is the commercial term. Cost per technical weight. This one. So best offer is 1, 2, 4 and 3. So then the remarks, Nero scored highest point in technical due to simple mechanism. Moyang scored second highest technical, can selected second option due to more mechanical parts like vertical for action. Selected 3 supplier for Neuro, Moyang and Rapid. Above 3 supplier will be invited for further final price negotiation. Remarks, supplier has to confirm the following like this. So this is like a multi-criteria decision making. You make your decision based not upon one point, but upon various points. This file is already in your notes that I've shared with you. Data representation, affinity diagram, appropriate for grouping, classifying, and reviewing large number of ideas. Figure we can see next page. So this is like affinity diagram. Human resources issues, too much turnover, untrained staffs aren't compensated, lack of standard process and measurement, workplace culture. So these are affinity diagram. With these things, you get information, what needs to be done, what not to be done. Mind mapping. What is mind mapping? Consolidating ideas. So they say, so mind mapping, this is a mind mapping. So you say supplier relationship, decision making, continuous improvement, system approach, process approach, people involvement, leadership, customer focus, and so on. Interpersonal and team skills, nominal group technique, enhancing brainstorming with a voting, observation, conversation, talk to people, observe the problem, facilitation. So these are the things that are there when collecting the requirement. Context diagram. So what is the context diagram? In which context you are saying? On context diagram allows the depiction of a product scope as a visual model by showing a business system, process, equipment, computer system, etc., and how other system people interacts with it. Government, private sector, industry, education system. So everybody have a different way. So example, if you are doing a school project, so there can be different context. You have to think about the scope from the student's point of view. So students would not like to have big stairs. So the difference between a stair should be small, so that the small children can go up and down. There should be a handrail. So you have to understand the context from various sources. The school teachers would not like to climb hundreds of stairs, so they would like a lift. Example. Then the principal would like this, that would like that. So you have to think from different aspects, and you have to design context requirement. Prototype. What is a prototype? See, example, when something you are making, you make a small model of that to show that this is what the actual project would look. Yeah, sir.
Can you repeat the last one? Context one.
Yeah. So, sir, what happened when you are collecting the requirement? So sometimes you are like, you have to build a school. Example. I was giving the example of you have to build a school. So, and suppose you are a builder or you are a contractor. You have to build, or you want to give the contract. So you want to collect the requirement. So don't just collect the requirement in your context. You may be the project engineer for the school. So you just don't think from your point of view, okay, they should be like this, they should be like this. Think from different context. So who are the end users who are going to use? The small children, they are the people who are going to use the school. So they cannot have big steps. So you want steps which are very small, like there should be enough space. The stair should not be thin. It should be very wide, so children can go up and go down easily. There should be a handrail. So this is from the student point of view. Then what you would like from the parents' point of view, what the parents would like? The parents would like that they can have a parking. They can come and park their car. They can take the children safely. They can drop the children safely. What would the teacher want? Teacher would say that, okay, instead of climbing every day up and down, I am now getting old. I want to go through the lift. So, everybody has a different context of the project. So think from different context, ask from different context, and then you can collect the requirement in a better and right way. So example, you are designing a hospital. So for the hospital, what type of requirements can come? See, one requirement is you can think about a patient who are just coming to show. They are, I don't know what it is called, inpatient, outpatient, something like that. So those who are coming, they will show and they will go. Then there are people who can come critically sick. There are people how they will go. There are then what should be for the patient? What should be for the people who are accompanying the patient? What about the doctors? What about the other things? So you have to think from various point of view, then to understand the requirement. This is what I was telling you. This is called context. Context. Collect requirement. Prototype, a method of obtaining early feedback on requirement by providing a working prototype. So example, instead of making the whole, see, if they have to make a Burj Khalifa, they are not going to make Burj Khalifa all and then they are going to like ask or check the thing. So they are going to make a prototype, show that this is what we are going to look. A Burj Khalifa is 995 meters. So if they are making it, maybe they will make a 1 meter building, which will look like a replica of Burj Khalifa, and they will say this is what. So it's a prototype, a method of obtaining early feedback on requirement by providing a working model of the expected product before actually building it. So instead of building Burj Khalifa and then asking the feedback from the owner, you build it, you show it, the prototype, everything, so that let the people understand what it is, give their feedback, give their suggestion, recommendation, and other thing. So this is what is a prototype. Might be used in the agile context, for example, in which the team use mock-up illustrating navigation path through user interface, also used in industries such as film industry, advertising, and industrial design, known as storyboarding. What is storyboarding? So example, if you see any advertisement, of any brand, any product that there, so in the next 10-15 seconds of advertisement, if you see, they build a story. They are doing storyboarding. If you see advertisement of anything, so they will try to bring the story, how the story starts, everything finishes in 20 seconds, 30 seconds, 10 seconds. So that is the storyboarding. So instead of like doing it finally, what happened? You show the idea, you say this is what we are planning, so that people can listen, give the feedback and everything. So that is like storyboarding. The output will be the requirement documentation, what you need, how much you need, and everything. Business requirement can be high level need of any organization. Business and project objective, business rules, guiding principle, stakeholder can have some requirement, solution requirement can be there, that we want this thing to happen. If you see the particular conveyor that we were comparing, so we wanted that the conveyor should be able to move around 1200 ton per hour of load. So that means when we say 1200 ton per hour of load, so we say it can be able to move 20 ton per hour of load, per minute of load. So that is the solution requirement. Transition and readiness requirement, temporary capability necessary for project work to get done. Support and training requirement, reporting. So example, there is some project, example, a company gets a banking project, software project, I'm saying the banking software project. No, there are people, they don't have information or knowledge about the banking. So maybe they have to get their people trained with the domain knowledge of banking and everything. So that is called transition, how fast they can transition from one role to another role. Project requirement, high level requirement that the overall project must meet. The action can be processed by any other condition of the project. Level of service, what type of project they will do, what is the level of service they will do, what is the reporting requirement, what is the project requirement, what is the quality requirement, and anything. Requirement traceability matrix, you can see that is a link product requirement from the origin to be deliverable that satisfy them. So if you see here, requirement description in the traceability matrix is, so one car garage, standard single family house specification, quality, WP is deliverable, there should be a garage inspection, yes. So this is the thing that you can see what are the things that you have available with you and what you want to do. So you can understand the requirement better by seeing this traceability. It's easy for you to check and find out what you are looking for. Attributes provides a structure for managing changes. Attributes associated with each requirement can be recorded in the RTM. RTM is requirement traceability matrix. Typical attributes may include a unique identifier, a textual description of the requirement, the rationale for inclusion, owner, source, provider, version, etc. Define scope. What is define scope? It is the process of developing a detailed description of the project and the product. Key benefit of this process is it describes the product, service, or result boundaries and acceptance criteria. How the project will be, or product or service will be accepted, what will be the boundaries, etc. Since all the requirements are identified in the collect requirement process may not be included in the project, define scope reflects the final project requirement from the requirement documentation. It then develops a detailed description of the product, service, or result boundaries and acceptance criteria. Define scope. The input can be project charter, project management documents, enterprise environment factors, tools and techniques, expert judgment, data analysis, decision analysis, product analysis, and other things. Output, project scope statement, assumption log, requirement traceability matrix, stakeholders analysis, and other things. Define scope, input, project charter, project management plan, scope management plan, what is the project about, what is the product scope, all those things are there as an input. Project document, product document, enterprise environment factor, organizational process assets. Other tools and technique are expert judgment, data analysis, alternative analysis. Alternative analysis said what else can you in which different way you can do it, in what different else thing can you provide. Decision making, multi-criteria decision analysis based upon multiple factors, interpersonal and team skills facilitation. What is facilitation? Any idea? Facilitation. It comes from the English.
Some sort of organizing.
Yeah, organizing, discussing, helping for the other teams to come to a solution. So those things are called facilitation. Product analysis for project that have a product as deliverable. So example, if you are making, if you're working on a software development project. So finally, it is a product that you have to deliver. So product analysis you have to do, in which condition it will work, which condition it will not work, what will happen if this will happen. That. So example, if your product was a camera, you would analyze all the components of the product of such as lens, camera, body, battery type, user interface, how much it will be for charging and other things. So that is the product analysis when we are doing. So based upon the different inputs. Now the output can be the project scope statement. If you see the scope statement, detailed description of the project scope, major deliverables, what is the product scope. If you see this one, we were saying scope output. So this is an output that has come. Or if you see better this one, Saudi Arabia one. So it is very well clearly defined because they have followed the system called FIDIC. So FIDIC have books like Red Book, Grey and other book. So, but it provides structure as so. So there are 22 or some points, I think 32 points, where everything is written. So because when you are working, maybe you don't think about warranty. You don't think that, example, if there is a rain, COVID, then what will happen? So that is why it's very, very good to know only. So product scope, project scope, you understood. So one of the project statement can look like this. Version history, another thing. Create WBS. What is the create WBS? Web breakdown structure. Create WBS is the process of subdividing project deliverables and project work into a smaller and more manageable component. It provides a network of framework that has to be delivered. So example, when you say making a house, so you have to break it in different things. Building up the walls, excavation, building of the walls, plastering, painting, plumbing, electrical work. So what you are doing, you are creating work breakdown structure. So you can check, okay, out of all the electrical connection, how many are done, how many are not done. So it's easy for you to trace, it's easy for you to manage. So that is what is called create work breakdown structure, is the process of subdividing is project deliverables and project work into smaller, more manageable component. Even if it is provide a framework of what has to be delivered and not. Create WBS is the hierarchical decomposition of the total scope work. What it means, it follows a pattern, a system. Lowest level of WBS component is called a work package, which can be used for the group or activity where work is scheduled and estimated. In the context of the WBS, work refers to the work, product, or deliverables that are the rules, that are the results of activity and not by the activity itself. So they are saying what are the results that you have achieved and everything. So for creating WBS, work breakdown structure, unique project management plan, scope management plan, project document, project scope statement, requirement, documentation, enterprise environment factors, organizational process assets, expert judgment, decomposition, scope baseline, project document updates, assumption log, and so on. The input for creating work breakdown structure can be the project management plan, scope management plan, project documents like project scope statement, requirement documentation, what you are looking for. Expert judgment. Now comes decomposition. This word also comes many times. Decomposition is a technique used for dividing and subdividing the project scope and project deliverables into smaller, more manageable parts. The lowest part of the WBS is a work package and manageable unit of work that can be planned. So example, you say plumbing per square meter. This is a decomposition. So you don't say plumbing, you say plumbing per square meter. You say laying of cables per square meter or per meter, like that. So these are called decomposition. What is control accounts? Control accounts are management control point placed at selected points above the work package level and typically intended to performance measurement. A control account has two or more work package, but a work package is only associated with a single control account. So each WBS has an identifier. What is an identifier? So if there are 10 activities, so you say activity number 1 is this, activity number 2 is this, activity number 2 is 3. So it's like a identifier. If an agile approach is used, epics can be determined. What is epic? It will come in software when we'll go in agile part. But since this word came epic, what is epic?
Is it historical data?
Epic, no sir. Epic is what? So
Epic
comes.
Generally, it is used to every product manager whenever he is writing user stories. The user stories are divided into epics and themes, so that it is divided into smaller levels, so that we get better clarity in defining or in creating a product, new product.
So yeah, you are correct, sir. What you said is exactly 100% correct. So in software and other thing, what happened? Epic is a story. At the moment, you can understand. So what is a story? See, if I hope you remember this particular thing that I showed you, that I suggested my company. You can see my web page. So I've written to my company, I want a software like this. So no, it is like a epic. I've written a big story, what I need, what I don't need. Now it will be broken into sub part to understand if they go for that. But I'm saying I wrote them a software. What should be the software be? What should be the website be? And other thing, I wrote a big letter. Now they have to make their decision. So what is going to happen? So this one, what I've written as a story that this type of software need. So that can be considered at the moment as epic. Epic also comes from the, this is like a epic means a big story or a story. So decomposition, home, house, garage, landscaping. In the house, there can be foundation, exterior, interior. In the interior, there can be electrical, plumbing, and windows. In work package, it could be procurement, hardware assembly, installation, and so on. So when you create the WBS structure, output will be scope baseline. The scope baseline, what is a scope baseline? When the scope is fixed, that this is what we are looking for. See, before you may have hundreds of different plans and ideas, but finally you agree to a particular thing. Then you say this is the scope baseline. So what is the scope baseline? The scope baseline is the approved version of a scope statement WBS and is the associated WBS dictionary, which can be changed only through formal changes, control procedures, and is used as a basis for comparison. So whatever the scope is fixed in the general projects or in the waterfall project, or we do not make the scope change. We let the scope be fixed. Yeah, bottom line, project bottom line, what you want, what you don't want, the minimum thing that you put. The scope baseline is the approved version of the scope statement. So example, you know, like the whole building is planned, everything is fixed. So the scope is fixed. Now all of a sudden, the owner says, see, on the roof terrace, I want a small swimming pool. So they will say, no, the scope is already baseline. The scope is already fixed. How can you change? Now it will need revision, it will need approval, it will need recosting and everything. So project scope baseline, project scope statement, WBS, work package, planning package, a control account may include one or more planning package. A planning package is a work breakdown structure component below the control account and above the work package with known work content, but without detailed schedule activities. WBS dictionary, I told you, WBS dictionary tells you who is the seller, who is the buyer, what does this term means, what does that term mean, other thing. WBS dictionary may include code of account identifier, description of work, assumption and constant, responsive. See, like example, in our scope, we said we are not going to do these things. This is against our scope. We will not do the civil work. We will not do lifting, forklift, and all those things. So we are saying what these are the constraints. We assume that you will give your team for doing the installation. So assumptions and constant, responsible organization, schedule milestone, associated scheduled activities. Resource required, how many resources will be, how many people will be required, and what all machine material will be required. So these are all resource required, cost estimate, quality requirements, acceptance criteria, technical reference, agreement information. So all those things can be there in the WBS dictionary. Now we come to the topic of project schedule management. This is something very, very important. And before we go project schedule management, in here, what is the word meaning of project schedule? Anything we say that, okay, we say example, if the training, there is a schedule. that it will be happening on Saturday and Sunday from 12:30 to 3:30 UAE time, and vice versa as per different time zones, and it will take 35 hours to get completed. So there is a project schedule. If it can be very, very well defined, so it can be like, okay, first hour it will be talking about this, second hour it could be done. So that is the project schedule. If you see this 35 hour, the course needs to get completed in a nice way and without rush, with everything explained, whatever is in the slides and everything. So you can see that, see, we have, this is our 5th class or 4th class?
5th class.
So we say 5th class. So you say fifth class means 15 hours have passed. So, and total is 35 hours. So 40% of the syllabus should have got covered. We have just covered 30%. So we are behind. We are not running on the schedule. We are behind the schedule. So when you see these things, you can understand if the schedule is right time or wrong time to plan your schedule, to describe your schedule, to describe your activities. You need project schedule management. Also, sometimes if you see that, okay, now example, I see that, now I have to complete this many pages and still number of hours are remaining are left. So I can request, can we sit everybody half hour more? So what I'm doing, I'm increasing the time to do that job. So these all things comes under project schedule management. So this is project schedule management. Project schedule management includes the process required to manage the timely completion of the project. So what is the target? You want to timely manage and complete the project. Project schedule management consists of 6 processes. Planning the schedule management, the process of establishing the policies, procedures, documentation for planning, developing, managing, executing, and controlling the project. Define the activities, what all activities will be done, what all tasks will be done. The process of identifying and documenting the specific action to be performed to produce the project deliverables. Sequence activities. By the way, I told everybody that from where you can download any format, correct? I have shared with you.
Yeah, PDF.net. Yeah.
Yeah, not PDF.net, sir. PDF.net is for downloading this thing. This one. From here, you can download all the templates. So templates. So project schedule management consists of 6 processes: plan, schedule management, planning, developing, managing, executing, and controlling. Define the activities, sequence activities, estimate activity duration, develop schedule, and control schedule. One important thing that here it will come, the key concept for project schedule management. Project scheduling provides a detailed plan, what needs to be delivered as per the project scope, and serves as a tool for communication, managing stakeholder expectation, and as a basis for performance. So what does it mean, tool for communication? See, example, if you see that the schedule, the project is behind the time. So example, it's a 5th class and you say only 40% of the activities are done. So that means we are behind. So maybe you will say to IMCC, we have come 40% is only done, whereas it should be by now 45% should have been done. So example, so you say the tool for communication, managing a stakeholder expectations. So you all are the stakeholder. You say that this is getting done good, right, bad, whatsoever. Or example, if you are making a house, anything, you can see that it is running behind the schedule and other thing. Project management team selects the scheduling method such as critical path or agile approach. So what is a critical path? We will explain you now. But before, we will talk about the other thing. Project specification data such as activity, plan date, when you think the thing will happen, duration, resource. So you say, example, I need a crane for 3 days. From 20 May 23 to 22 May 23. So that is the project specific data. So we come to plan schedule management. It is the process of establishing the policies, procedures, documentation for planning, developing, managing, executing, and controlling the project schedule. Key benefit of this process is what? It provides guidance and directions on how the project schedule will be managed throughout the project. For planning the schedule, you need project charter, project management plan, enterprise environment factors, tools and techniques will be expert judgment, data analysis meeting, output will be the schedule management plan. These are the inputs, the tools and techniques, and the output. Schedule management plan. So when we are talking about schedule management plan, so what are the schedules thing that we have to consider? The timeline, the time. So example, if something is running behind the time, so you can see that by now 50% should have been done, but we are just done 20%, so we're behind the time. So those things after you can see through the models, or you can see through the data and other thing. So project schedule, model development, the scheduling methodology and tools that you are using, release and iteration length. What is the release and iteration length? Generally in software, so what happen if you see, so they will say, okay, the new Android, or I don't know, 13 is going to be released on that, or its iteration or the update is going to be released on that. So, you know, if you see your Android Play Store or Apple, I think Safari. So what happened in those, you can go and see, they will say, okay, new updates available. So when they say new updates, so this is like an iteration, or they can say new Microsoft is coming on this release date. So those are called release and iteration length. When using an adaptive lifecycle, the time box period for release, waves and iterations are specified. Level of accuracy, how much level of accuracy you need. So when I say 1200 ton per hour, so I say, okay, it should be done in 10 weeks with level of accuracy matching exactly 1 day. So if we say 52 days, example, it should be done in 52 days. Some companies can be really lenient. They can say plus minus 5 days, plus minus 10 days, plus minus 15 days, plus minus 1 month. So the level of accuracy will depend upon different organization. Unit of measure, you want to measure in staff hour, staff days, meter, liter, per square meter, per square kilometer, whatsoever. Organizational proceduring, the total work breakdown structure provides the framework for the schedule management plan. Control threshold, various threshold agreed upon, action plan must be taken. Rule of performance measurement, how much percentage task has got completed. What is the earned value management? We will understand. In projects management, people generally say earned value management to calculate the earned value management or earned monetary value. This is one of the toughest thing, but you will see that it will become one of the easiest thing in hopefully in today's class or next class. Reporting format and frequency for the various schedule reports are refined. So define activities. What are the activities and which all activities? So you say, I say, okay, the excavation will be from 5th of April till 10th of April. From 10th of April, the plumbing will start. From 15th of April, this to this. So you are defining the activities in the process of identifying and documenting the specific action to be performed to produce the project deliverables. Key benefit of this process is decompose work package into schedule activities that provides a basis for estimating, scheduling, executing, monitoring, and controlling the project work. Define activities, inputs, project management plan, enterprise environment factors, organizational process assets, tools and technique, expert judgment, decomposition, rolling wave planning, meeting, activities. So we will see all those things. Project management plan, schedule management plan. So for using this, sometimes the computer there are lots of software. So one of the software that is very much popular is MS Project. So if you use MS Project, in MS Project, you can also use a trial version. It's basically more like an Excel sheet. So what will happen? You can see here in MS Project, it will show you, okay, mobilization, construction, when this, so you can see which date, how many people, all the things will come here. So this type of software can be used, MS Project. Some people use, in some companies, Primavera. So this is also again a software that is used. It is also similar type of thing they do in Primavera, a bit different change. So MS Project, Primavera. So it depends what your company wants to use, what your company doesn't want to use. So that thing is there, MS Project, Primavera. So these are the things that makes the schedule management plan very easy for you. You can see, or if else some company can have an Excel sheet to measure, some company can have a Word file, or some company can have a paper pen. So it depends. But these softwares are very, very good, like Primavera and another one which I said. So these softwares are very, very used in planning, MS Project. So MS Project, I know, Primavera, I know a bit. So these are very good in planning. So decomposition, as I said, each work package with a WBS is decomposed into activities required to produce the final involving team member in the decomposition. Now rolling wave planning. What is a rolling wave planning? It is an iterative planning technique in which the work to be accomplished in the near term is planned in detail, while the work in the future is planned at higher level. So what happened? So example, rolling wave planning. So example, now summer vacation is coming and I want to go to India on a summer vacation. So this is something which I have to do in the near term. So I have to plan very well in detail. Flight, train ticket, flight ticket, where we will go, how we will go, where we will stay for which days, where I will stay in my home, where my wife will stay in her home, how many days, and like that. So that is a rolling wave planning. So whatever are the things that is going to happen in near term, you plan it in very, very detail. And now I want to plan for winter vacation. This is a very detail. So you just plan, okay, in winter vacation, we can go to India on this date to that date. So that is a future planning. Okay, Joseph sir, you can watch the video afterwards. So rolling wave planning, it is a form of progressive elaboration applicable to work package, planning package, and release planning when using an agile or waterfall approach. So in a rolling wave planning, what happened? Whichever things you have to do in near future, it is planned in very well in detail. And whatever activities or thing you have to do it in afterwards, in a later time, you plan it in a high level. That means you say, okay, small details with very little details. During early strategic planning, when information is less defined, work package may be decomposed to known level of defect. See what happens whenever you are doing a project. Now you have started. I was seeing, reading a news that a UAE businessman, he wants to start an airline, airkerala.com, because there are a lot of people in the Gulf from Kerala region, and a huge population lives in the Middle East, especially so Kerala region. So he wants to start an airline called Air Kerala, but he thought it will be easy and he can go and buy the somebody has already taken this domain airkerala.com. So for buying that domain, he has to spend, I think, 300,000 dirham or 1 million dirham or something to just buy that domain. So he could have thought not that much, but when you progress more in the project, you understand the things in very well detail and everything. So as more is known about the upcoming event in the near term, work package can be decomposed into activities as and when condition arises. Activity list. What is an activity list? The list of activities that you want to be completed. So you want in the project that, okay, these are the activities that you want them to do in the project. So those are the activity list. Then there can be a priority list, which is the first thing that they should do. So that is the priority list. It includes the scheduled activities required for the project. It includes an activity identifier and a scope of work description for each activity. Activity attributes. During initial stage of the project, that may include the unique activity identifier. When completed, they may include activity description, predecessor activities, successor activities, logical relationship, leads and lags, resource requirement, imposed data, constraint and assumptions, and other things. Milestone list. What is a milestone list? Important thing that you want to achieve. Important data, important thing that you want to achieve. So milestone is a significant point or event in a project. So example, if you are doing this particular training, so we are doing on a day-to-day basis. What will be the first milestone? When you started this training. What will be the second milestone? When you complete this training, the training gets completed. What could be the third milestone? When you give this exam. What could be the fourth milestone? When you pass this exam. So these are the milestones, significant point or events in a project. A milestone list identifies all project milestones and indicate whether the milestone is mandatory, such as those required by contract or optional, or those only for historical information. Milestone have a zero duration because they represent a significant point or event. What is the duration? Now, if you remember, we have to talk in the remaining 10 minutes. Change request. Let's go. Change request is that when you want something to be changed. Now, this is the important thing that comes. Sequence activity. What is a sequence activity? See, talk about any project that you want to do. Suppose you want to give the exam of PMP. There is a sequence. You have to undergo a 35-hour training, correct? You have to fill the form. Then you have to pay the fees. Then you have to give the exams. So giving the exam is our main thing. But before giving the exam, there are some predecessor activities. So remember these two terms, predecessor activity and successor activities. What is a predecessor activity? Suppose you have to give the PMP exam. So before giving the PMP exam, there is a predecessor activity. That means you need to do it compulsory. And what is that predecessor? You have to attend 35 hours of exam of this PMP training. So this is a predecessor activity. Suppose you want example, you are building a new home and you want it to be painted. Okay, so that is the thing. So for painting the new home, you want the walls to be plastered, correct? You want the walls to be plastered. So plastering the wall will be called a predecessor activity, and painting the wall will be called as the sequence activity. Is it clear? Because we will get many questions on predecessor and successor activity in the sequencing. Is it clear? Sequence activities. It is the process of identifying and documenting relationship among the project activities. So you know which work will come first, which work will come afterwards. So this is called the sequence. So example I'm saying, in the morning when you wake up, you get fresh, you eat breakfast, you go to office. So there is a sequence. So example, if somebody asks, what is the predecessor of coming to your office? So you say, see, I have to get fresh. This is a predecessor. Okay. And somebody asks you, what is the successor after you get to your office? I have to start my work. So successor means after. So example, if we talk about the day Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and we are talking about a day called Tuesday. So which is the predecessor of Tuesday? Monday. Which is the successor of Tuesday? Wednesday. In the sequence of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So if we say stay on Tuesday and we say which is the predecessor, which is the thing that comes earlier? Compulsory. So you cannot say no, after Sunday it is directly Tuesday. You cannot escape. That is the rule. So sequence activities means what? The same thing. So example, if it is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so you are standing on Tuesday, so you say the predecessor is Monday and the successor is Wednesday. Is it clear the sequence meaning? What does sequence meaning means?
Yes, sir. Clear.
It's clear.
Okay. So sequence activities means the process of identifying and documenting relationship among the project activities. Key benefit of the process is as you understand the logical sequence. You have to understand the logical sequence. And how will you understand logical sequence? If you know the work. See, example, I know the work of my field. So I know the logical sequence. What needs to be done first, what needs to be done second. Now, if somebody asks me to do a software of finance, I don't know anything of that. So I will not be able to understand what is first needed, what is second needed. So, but the logical sequence of how to do the greater efficiency of all the project constants. So there can be different things, but how you can do so that you can achieve more efficiency in your work. So sequence activities. For finding the sequence activities, you know the list of work that you need to do, the milestone. Another thing, the tools and techniques can be precedence diagram. Another thing you'll see sequence activities, input, project management plan, project document, enterprise environment factor, organizational process assets. Sequence activities, tools and technique. Now come precedence diagram method. This is called a precedence diagram method. What is the precedence diagram method? I explained you the same thing now. It is a graphically linked by one or more logical relationship. So you say a predecessor activity. What is a predecessor activity that comes first? So there are 3 days. I'm not saying activities. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So Tuesday is the central example. So you say which is the predecessor to Tuesday? Monday. If I ask what is the predecessor for Wednesday? Tuesday. So this is the compulsory thing. And what is the successor activity? An activity that comes after. So if somebody asks what is the successor of Wednesday? Thursday. What is the successor of Tuesday? Wednesday. So that is the thing. So you can say example. So you understand which work comes first, which work comes second. So that is how this is successor and predecessor activity will include. Now, there are 4 types of dependency. If you remember, we did FS, FF, SS, SF. What is this one? FS is the most commonly used. FS is finish to start. We will stop at this page, finish to start. So a logical relationship in which a successor activity cannot start until a predecessor activity has finished. So this is called finish to start sequence. So example, installing the operating system on a PC cannot start until the PC hardware is assembled. So it is a finish to start. Then comes finish to finish. What is the finish to finish? A logical relationship a logical relationship, finish to finish, a logical relationship in which a successor activity cannot finish until a predecessor activity has finished. Example, writing a document is required to finish before editing the document. So this is finish to finish. Then comes the start to start, a logical relationship in which successor activity cannot start until a predecessor activity has started. Example, level concrete cannot begin until core foundation has begun. Start to finish, a logical relationship in which a successor activity cannot finish until a predecessor activity has started. Example, a new account payable system has to start before the old account payable system can be shut down. So to make you easy to understand this one, you see here activity A and activity B. Activity A, when it will finish, then activity B will start. If you see here activity A, activity B, both can start together. If you see activity A and B, both will finish together. And activity A and activity B, activity A will finish when activity B will start. And you can see this thing in the diagram. I will show you. I'm just showing you here. So, okay, let me show you here. Can you see the sequence activities diagram? Just to make you understand. Let me talk about the point A. So it is beginning and it is going on A and B. Let's talk about, if you see activity A, activity H, activity A, K, they all are in the same line. So that means they all can start together. A is a separate set of activities that can start. H is a separate. So example, let me make you. So painting can start, electrical wiring can start, plumbing can start. All together it can start A, H and K. But if you see B, so what is saying about C? Activity C will start when activity H will finish. Activity C will start when activity B will start to start. So this one I will explain you more when we will do the next class. I don't want other people to miss because this is the most important thing. So we stop here at this page 198. Sequence activities, finish to start, finish to finish, start to start, and start to finish, like this one. So we'll start from page number 200 in the next class, but please read from page 1 till page 199. I'm a bit sick also, so I'm not taking more time to explain more. We are doing it in a, so but don't miss the next class. It is very, very important because the most complex thing in this one is two things. One is the scheduling, which is this, and one is the earned monetary value. What is earned monetary value? Suppose your company has four, not let us think about 4 companies. Now let us think about you have got 1 million Indian rupees. Now you want to invest in 5 different companies or 5 different activities. You want to say which after 10 years, who is going to give me more money? After 5 years, where I will get more money? So that is called earned monetary value. A company has to invest money in 3 projects, out of which 3 projects the company should invest. So it's a calculated way. So that one we will do. And this is about the timeline and everything, and critical path method and other thing will come. So we will start from page number 200 in the next class. But please, if you have time in the weekend, please read from page number 1 to 199 once. Okay. Is there anything to ask before we stop? These are theoretical thing. Next will be more numerical and other thing. So for theoretical thing, you have to read it also once to make it clear. But if there is anything to ask, clarify, please ask, or you can read it today, ask in the next class, whatever you feel comfortable with. So we stop for the day.